Kenny, we are back. Finally, hopefully our audio is working. I'm Stevie B.
And I'm Kenny G.
And this
We're
is
so
KSU
back.
Nation. We are so back. In fact, I forgot to turn down your audio because you said to do that. Kenny, have we been doing anything other than eating cheeseburgers, fries, and drinking ranch dressing, which is actually what I did for lunch. I'm not going to lie.
Nope. That's basically it. We go to work, and then on our way home from work, we grab ourselves some cheeseburgers. Got to go with the double or triple patty cheeseburgers. I mean, if you're going to go get one, go all out. Then you obviously got to get that large side of fries. And then, you gotta get that ranch to wash it all down. So, I mean, honestly, it's good to be back, Steve. We've had a long break, but it was a good break. And I remember as I was sitting there watching the fireworks go off on 4th of July.
I emphasize again.
I thought to myself, now, when this is all over, what else is there to do? What do I have to look forward to? And I thought, oh, it's football season now. Like, now's the time. It's like 4th of July, and then after 4th of July, we got to start thinking college football, and more importantly, the Big 12, and most importantly, K-State, baby. K-State football.
I remember you and I were talking. We're like, we really need to get back onto the podcasting for K-State because in the Big 12 because football season. I mean, it's next month, man. It is next month, and like you said, it's been a while since we've been on here. You and I have hung out several times. We went golfing. We went to the lake. We played some pickleball. In fact, people don't know Kenny is a pretty good pickleball player. Me, not so much. Kenny's pretty good though. But we're not here to talk about pickleball. We're here to talk about some Big 12 football, K-State football. We're going to have a lot of episodes coming out, talking about each individual team, breaking down their schedule, our thoughts on where they're going to finish, ceiling, floor, all of that. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about the Big 12 title odds that have been released, the Big 12 preseason football team, and some news out of Provo, which is where we start. We're going to start talking about the news out of Provo. Kenny, wild stuff, man. Wild stuff.
Well, before I get into that, I want to give a shout out to Jor. Good seeing you in the chat, buddy. It has been a minute, and it's good to see that you're still sticking around, KSU Nation. All right, over to BYU. Jake Retzlaff. This is not good for Provo. I feel sorry for the fans. You hate to see something like this happen. Whether it's his fault or not, for the football program itself, it's not cool. They had an incredible season last year. They had a season that nobody thought they would have. Not even their own fans. Not even the super diehard fans would ever thought that they would go. What was it, 11-1? They played an incredible season of football, and a lot of that had to do with Jake Retzlaff being the captain behind the center. I have high hopes for him. I think you were saying that there is some rumors going around that he might end up on another Big 12 team. That's pretty wild.
There is some rumors. There is some truth to that because he was facing a 6 to 7 game suspension. But he knows the Big 12 team's pretty good. So I'm not surprised if he stays in the Big 12. In fact, another K-State podcaster was talking about that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. For BYU, this is a huge blow to the heart of the fans and just the whole culture down there. It's just you just hate to see it. It's just the way that it all went out. It's just kind of ugly, and it's putting a weird stain on a program that's it was a fun program to watch last year. But best of luck to Jake and whatever he does. He really put a beating on K-State for sure, and that's something that left a bad taste in my mouth when I was watching it. But the fans are diehard BYU fans. I'm sure they're going to bounce back just fine. They just may not have the season that they were hoping for this year. But you never know. You never know. They might strike gold with this new quarterback coming in. You never know.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that Jake Retzloff was a pretty good quarterback last year. Passed for like 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, added a couple more on the ground. They were a pass-first offense, but he wasn't the only reason they won, 11 games last year? I think they went 11-2. So he wasn't the only reason. But having said that, I do think losing him, I mean, for me, I had them in the top 4 going into the season without him. I mean, I probably still have him in the top half. But losing your starting quarterback, who was, I mean, honestly, pretty darn good. His coming out party was against K-State. They put a pretty big whooping on the Cats, 38-9. Without him, it's going to be a tall task to, win the Big 12. But I still think their defense, there's enough left in the tank to go 7-5, 8-4, maybe. If they finish any higher than 8-4, I would be shocked. And I know they got some pretty good players coming in. I know that they have deep pockets, so they can go and get almost whoever they want. I mean, think about AJ DeBonsa, the basketball player, the number 1 player in the country, is coming to BYU, so they can go get whoever they want. But like I said, I think without Jake Retzloff, I don't see them competing for a Big 12 championship.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but this all sort of happened pretty recently, like right before the summer, right? So, I mean, that's not a whole lot of time. Now, of course, like you've got a depth chart for a reason, because of injuries can happen at any moment, or something could change out of the blue. But to give you guys a prime example of what happened last year when a starting quarterback was gone after the season, let me just point you to another team in Utah, the Utah Utes. They lost their starting quarterback, superstar, right off the bat.
Are you comparing 2024 Utah to 2025 BYU? Did I just hear you say that?
No. I'm pointing out that the importance of having your quarterback, that your veteran quarterback, when he's gone right before the season, or during this, like right at the beginning of the season, it really is tough to scrape together, because you got all the chemistry that you've built in the offseason and the previous season before that and all the practices. And then when something like this happens, it's just a huge bombshell right onto the team. Now, of course, I agree with a lot of what you said. BYU's special teams are nothing to be messing around with. Their defense is solid. And they still have really strong pieces on their offense that can still be utilized really well. But overall, I just think in general, this is just it's a tough pill to swallow for the BYU fans going into this season.
Jor says BYU has some studs in their front 7, so they're going to be tough to deal with. I definitely agree. I mean, their defense is going to keep them in a ton of games, just like UCF's offense kept them in a ton of games last year. And Iowa State's had a pretty good defense for a couple of years now, but I just don't think it's enough to get them over the hump of winning a Big 12 championship without Jake Retzloff. I could be wrong. Maybe they have another guy that's pretty darn good. But to me, losing your starter who threw for 3,000 yards and 20-plus touchdowns total, I mean, that's a pretty big deal going into the season. So,
right.
That's all I want to say about that. Kenny, you got anything else before we move on?
Well, best of luck to Jake Retzlaff, like I said, and
We're
then
sorry to BYU fans. It's not our
yeah,
fault, but we feel sorry for you, BYU fans.
yes, we always end up making apology videos, but this time it's not our fault. We're sorry for you guys. It's a tough blow. Um, anyway, but moving on, we do have some other things to get to. Uh, the thing that we really want to go to is just kind of looking around the Big 12 as a whole, and just looking at like the Big 12 title odds. I know that there's, gosh, I mean, it just seems like there are, if you go to any like sports forum, any like, Facebook page where there's like a Big 12 sports this, or, this, fan club of this or whatever, you're going to find that there's, in the last like 2 weeks, I've just been flooded nonstop with, how do you like these rankings? How do you like these rankings? What about this ranking? And it's always just some random rankings that don't even make any sense. Like I remember I watched I saw a ranking where it had like K-State like number 6 or something. It was bizarre.
Phil Steele had K-State ranked number 6 in the Big 12. Well, the betting odds, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, has K-State as the number 1 odds. They have them at
Right.
plus 500, meaning if you bet $100 on K-State to win the Big 12, you'd win $500, which is the best odds by far. Because if you look at number 16 there, UCF, you have to bet $100. If you bet $100, you'd win $6,500. That's what they think of the Golden Knights down in Orlando. So, your thoughts here on the title odds? For me, I feel like BYU not being in the top half, I don't agree with that. I think KU should be in the bottom half. BYU should be in the top half. And I do not for the life of me understand why Utah is number 2 in Big 12 title odds, man. I do not get it at all.
That's like the biggest question mark on this these title odds. I mean, Utah, what did they show last season to give us any sort of like foundation to say, oh yeah, like I think they're going to come back and be the second best team in the league? Like they were nowhere to be found.
Because their head coach maybe and what they've done in the past, I guess.
It doesn't. Well, then if that's the case, then why in the world is Oklahoma State so low? Because you're not going to sit there and tell me that Kyle Whittingham is such an amazing coach and he can turn around a program that was supposed to be top, 2, and it didn't turn out that way. And then you're not going to give Mike Gundy the credit, who literally went to the Big 12 championship game the year before last year. I mean, this guy, like, how are you putting him so low? Because and Utah so high. If you're going to give me the coach spiel or whatever, then you got to give me Oklahoma State as well. Like, you got to put them up there because Mike Gundy.
Oklahoma State should be higher. Oklahoma State should be higher. KU should be lower. I agree. Utah should be lower. Iowa State should be higher. Here's how I would do it. I'd have K-State 1. I would have Arizona State 2. Baylor 3, Iowa State 4. That would be my top
4. Ooh, snubbing Texas Tech out of the top 4. I see.
They've never won the Big 12. They always cap out at 8
I wouldn't
wins.
say that. I wouldn't go so far as to say that they'll win the Big 12. I won't go so far as to say that they'll win the Big 12. But I can't say that Iowa State is going to be top 4 this year. Nothing against Iowa State. I just feel like they lost a lot of pieces, and this is going to be a rebuild year. I feel like this is a rebuild. Like, not only did I have a lot of faith in, like, I had called this is, the year of K-State. I called it literally like all year last year, that the year of K-State's 2025. That's going to be the year where K-State shows its dominance throughout the conference, because of like where Avery Johnson's projection will be and all the pieces that are supporting him. And I look around the Big 12 and the colossal failures that happened last season caused so many teams to get a new coach, basically, build up from the ground up. Like Texas Tech just literally threw the wallet at the transfer portal. Like maybe that might work. Maybe it won't. Who knows? It worked for Ohio, but Ohio's a little bit deeper than Texas Tech is, I think. Like Arizona's going to be scary, but they lost, Cam Scadaboo. Baylor, I think, is the most, like, other than K-State, the dangerous team to look at. I think Baylor is probably the second best team other than, it's like Baylor and K-State back to back. And they get to play each other this year. So that's going to be fun to watch. TCU is going to be a dangerous offensive team. They're through the roof. Expect a lot of high scoring out of those games. I mean, I would, shoot for the over on almost every game because, yeah, TCU does not have a good defense. But can't KU rebuild year. Iowa State rebuild year. BYU lost their quarterback. Cincinnati trash. Colorado rebuild year. Houston, they're ahead of schedule, but still need a little bit more work. Mountaineers, new coach. Arizona, trash. Oklahoma State, rebuild year. UCF, new coach and rebuild. I mean, it's like more than half the league is rebuilding their roster, rebuilding their teams. So I would expect a lot of those teams, given the state, if they do stick with it, if a lot of these players don't just leave and coaching staff doesn't just get shuffled every year, if there's continuity with these teams that are rebuilding, they're going to be scary in a couple years. But I just don't see it this year.
I would have West Virginia at number 16. I would. Their defense was the worst in the Big 12 last year. And they got whole new almost everything. I would have them as the worst team. I would have Colorado in the bottom 4. I would probably
your top 4. You said give me your bottom 4.
Okay, I'll give the top 4 and I'll give the bottom 4, and then the middle 8 are pretty interchangeable. Top 4: K-State, Arizona State, Baylor, Iowa State. That's my top 4. My bottom 4 would be West Virginia, Arizona, UCF, and Colorado. I think Colorado's going to be terrible this year. Come at me, Colorado fans. I think you guys are going to be terrible this year. I think K-State's going to beat you guys by about 30 to 40 this year. What's your top 4 and bottom 4?
Okay. My top 4: K-State, Baylor, Arizona State, and I'll say Texas Tech. I'll give Texas Tech the 4th place. I'll see that, I don't believe in the wallet, but I know the wallet's effective. The bottom 4 in this order has to go Arizona first as the worst team. Then I'll put UCF. Then I'll put Cincinnati. And then I'll put West Virginia. I think Cincinnati, Brandon Sorsby, not a fan.
I think they have enough in the tank to make some noise in the middle of the Big 12. They went 5-7 last year. Did they beat Arizona State or almost beat them? Like they were.
Here's my reasoning. I remember you specifically talking about how teams feed off of their coaching a lot. And I don't believe in Cincinnati coach. I don't believe in the Arizona coach at all. And then the other 2 are coaches that are coming in fresh. So UCF and Mountaineers. And this isn't going to be Bill Snyder 2.0 kind of coming in. This is literally like, they're not Bill Snyder. Okay. Like they're not going to have that same effect. Okay. So you can't say, oh, well, what, these are coaches that used to be here and they were successful. No, well, that's not the same. It's not the same. So that's why I'm putting those 4 teams in the bottom. Just because like I agree with what you made this sentiment last season. You're like, they feed off of coaching. And so I'm like, yeah. And you know what? I think Colorado's coaching staff is much better than those 4 teams combined. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They've got like some of the most elite coaches out there. So that'll at least get you a couple games, getting that leadership, getting the guys to believe in you. I mean, say what you want about Colorado. The players that play there, like they're getting great coaching and they're buying in, because it's very easy for a player to buy into a professional like player, as their coach. Whereas like, some random, guy from Arizona or wherever he's from, like it's like they may not buy into it, So it's kind of like one of those things where you might have better players that are more coachable. But I think at the end of the day, none of that really matters. The only thing that really matters is that both of us called K-State to be number 1, and I couldn't agree more. I think K-State's going to take it this year. This is the year of K-State. Okay,
They deserve K-State. K-State deserves to be the betting favorite. They do.
And this is amazing too, because if Avery Johnson stays one more year after this year, and he's healthy, and Lincoln Cure's coming on a sophomore year, like I mean, it's gonna be wild.
If we can get Avery to stay one more year, that would be exciting.
Back-to-back Big 12 champions.
I think move Utah down, move Iowa State up, and outside of that, I mean, pretty interchangeable, honestly. Move everyone else at maybe 1 or 2 spots, but outside of that, I feel like I don't think this is going to be the year like last year where we had the 16th team win the Big 12, and that's why they did away with the preseason media rankings, because they felt like that hurt Arizona State last year, and it did. So, but we know who number 16 is based off of betting odds. So
right. Well, I mean, I think there's just one more segment that we want to do right now. Now it's like we talk about, the teams and their chances of winning the title and their betting odds and all this stuff. That's all cool and everything, but when you break it down to the preseason all-conference teams and the like offense and the defensive side of the ball, those kinds of things, like when you pick the players that you think are going to be the best fitted for those types of roles, there's a lot of like interesting things. So they actually made they actually made like a spreadsheet for this, and they have the players picked, and some of these make sense and I can get behind them. Some of them I have no idea why in the world they even picked this player over some other ones, and then there's some that I'm just like, well, sure. I mean, I guess like O-line. I mean, why isn't there a single K-State lineman in there? That's weird. But I think the most glaring one on this list that I could see is the running back position. I don't know why. Last year was the most stacked year for running backs in the Big 12. We had Taj Brooks, DJ Giddens. We had homeboy from KU, RJ Harvey, Holly Gordon. Like the freaking running back room was insane across the board. But there was one running back that was trading snaps with DJ Giddens, and his name, go ahead and say it, Steve.
It's Dylan
number
Edwards,
3.
baby.
Dylan
it's
Edwards.
Number 3, Dylan Edwards, 200 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns in the bowl game, broke the bowl record, broke K-State's record. He should be on this list, man. And I totally get it. Like, I totally get putting, Bryson Washington in there, 1,000 yards last year. Jaheim White, their leading rusher at West Virginia. I totally get it. But neither one of those guys are going to have a better year than Dylan Edwards. They're just not, And I think like you said, last year the Big 12 was stacked with running backs, and a lot of people forgot who was on K-State's roster. A lot of people forgot because Dylan Edwards was a backup to DJ Giddens, and Giddens was drafted. A lot of people forget who he was, and
Mhm.
I think he's going to have a monster season. I'm seeing 1,500 plus total yards. I'm seeing
Oh
12
yeah.
plus touchdowns.
They're gonna know who he is after this season. That's for
But
damn sure.
what I will say is what matters more to the player, Kenny, preseason all conference or the actual season and what happens at the end of the season, winning the
Oh, of
conference
course.
and postseason all conference teams. What matters more?
Of course, of course. That like this is all fun and games, This is all like, picking your, it's like doing like a, like a draft pick, And it's just for like a fantasy, like a college fantasy team. One of the things that I find really hilarious is that we've got Will Swanson at a fullback. Like that's the player
He's a
they
tight
picked.
end. He's a
He's a
tight
tight
end.
end. And I will say, like, I think there was, I don't know if the stats stayed, but like our tight ends are insane on K-State. We actually had more touchdowns to tight ends. I don't know if it stayed that way the whole season, but like at one point it was like it wasn't even close. We were like the leading team in the country for tight ends getting touchdowns, which I think might have swayed Lincoln Cure a little bit. I think he was licking his chops a little bit as he kept seeing these touchdowns going to these going to Will Swanson, and let's not forget Ben Sennett getting all those touchdowns as well as a tight end. But yeah, our tight end room is huge, and I guess it looks like just from the preseason, it's looking like Will Swanson is moving over to fullback. I mean, it makes sense to me, I guess. So you got to move. Look, if Will Swanson is that good, where he's like, you know what, Garrett Oakley, Lincoln Cure, you guys, I know you guys are going to do great, but I'm going to move over to fullback and I'm going to take the spot here. So that's cool seeing him on this list. Some of these other ones, Chase Roberts, dangerous boy out in the wide receiver, Jordan Tyson. I mean, these make absolute sense to me.
Those two are the ballers of the Big 12. They might both be up for the what is the award? It's not the Jim Thorpe Award. It's whatever it is for the wide receiver. I think both
Best
of them are going to be
hands.
Final. Yeah, whatever it is, they're going to be up for it for sure.
Yeah, they are definitely great receivers, and I'm definitely, eyeballs are definitely going to be on them for
Does
sure. They
Jace
are going to
Brown?
play make.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I do this all the time.
No,
I'm so sorry. Does Jace Brown
no.
slide into that third spot because Eric McAllister? I mean, he had 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, I don't see that how it's any better than the year that Jace Brown had last year. Can Jace Brown finish as an all-conference receiver, which would be like the first since Tyler Lockett 10 years ago?
That would be interesting to see. Before, I mean, I would love to see it. Obviously, Jace Brown is a great talent. I know also K-State's really beefed up their wide receiver room a little bit. We definitely hit the transfer portal, but I'm hoping, Steve. Now, you mentioned Tyler Lockett. There is another Lockett that got a couple snaps in last year, but he was still, still needed to put on some size, still needed, get some work in. But hey, that family breeds incredible, incredible wide receivers.
Sterling
And
Lockett. Sterling Lockett.
Sterling
Yep.
Lockett is on the ballot. Hey, you're up to bat. I want to see what you got this year. My eyes are on you. Like, he is actually the player that I want. Like, I'm hoping that he gets starting positions. I really do. I hope we get to see a lot of snaps from him. Because my eyes are going to be on him. And I really hope he gets that chance and that he gets like a breakout season, because this would be really cool to see another Lockett taking over, K-State's football team. I would just love to see it happen. Before we move over to the defense, though, Steve, do you
Shout out
notice
to
anything? You notice anything
Curtis.
kind of strange about the offensive preseason team?
I want to mention one thing, but I know what you're going to say. But I do want to shout out Curtis Heidel for saying two things. It's a Blitnikoff Award for wide receivers. And number two, the running backs for Baylor and West Virginia, neither one of them are running behind a first all-conference pick on offensive line. So their O-line may not be as good as people think.
Very interesting. That is alarming.
But go ahead with what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. You're calling out one specific program down south.
Yeah, there's a program down south that threw the wallet at the transfer portal and yet did not land a single player that could make the all-conference preseason all-conference team on offense. Texas doesn't have no player on this all-conference team. That is very, very weird to me. Now that I don't know what that means. I don't know that maybe did they pick a lot of, support players? Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I mean, they don't have any superstars on their team. Cause you gotta have at least one, and it looks like, I mean, Arizona's got two on this list, three actually. So it's kind of scary. BYU's got a couple. Baylor's got a couple. Like,
K-State even has someone. K-State even has someone in the wrong position.
Exactly. So it's weird to see that Texas Tech, despite having all this money thrown in the transfer portal, did not land a player. And I don't know. I mean, again, it's kind of like you said. It doesn't matter. They're just preseason. It'd be better to be not in the preseason and then actually show up in the postseason and be like, hey, we're here. So just something to look at, something that I noticed was kind of interesting. But moving over to the defense, I think we just need to highlight one player and one player only here, and that's Austin Romaine, K-State Junior. I mean, this also, dude, another year of Austin Romaine would be amazing with Avery. I mean, that's just this is why Avery needs to be one more year. 2025 and 2026 would be incredible. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Austin Romaine, easily the best linebacker, middle linebacker in the country. I mean, I think what was it?
That's not what the preseason picks, man. They think that the linebacker from Texas Tech, Jacob Rodriguez.
Oh, I thought that was just outside linebacker, like outside. Outside.
I thought he was an inside linebacker, but maybe not. He's the defensive player of the year, but I think that Austin Romaine is the best defender in the entire Big 12 by far.
Yeah,
he made huge strides as a sophomore. Like, if you watch him as a freshman and watch him last year, it was like a completely different person. You watch a wide-eyed freshman, and sophomore year he's looking like freaking Terry Pierce out there, freaking Mark Semino, you know what I mean? Like, big K-State greats. I think he's going to be the next K-State great linebacker, and he already is. I mean, he's freaking phenomenal. I think he's, like I said, the best linebacker in the entire Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, just look at the stat. Like, look at the highlight reels. I mean, it's just. I mean, didn't you say like his, like, was it PPR or whatever? Like, was number one or something like that?
His PFF graded him as the number one.
PPR.
Pro Football Focus has him as the number one defender in the entire Big 12. Romaine is gone after this year. LOL, says Jor. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised because, like I said, I think he's the best linebacker in the Big 12. Why would you not go chase that money in the NFL? So,
yep.
I think K-State's linebacker core is top 5 in the entire country. K-State's linebackers are insane.
Homeboy from Topeka, I forgot his name.
Des Purnell.
Des Purnell. Gosh dang
Come on, baby.
I dropped the ball there.
Kenny has been out of touch for too long. Football season's almost here. We need to get back in it.
I gotta get locked in. I gotta get locked in again, Steve.
I gotta get locked in, bro.
Gotta get locked in.
Does Iowa State's two defensive backs there, Jeremiah Cooper and John Tez Williams, do they keep them in the title hunt this year? Because I feel like their defense as a whole has to. And Dominic Orange as well on the D-line. Because they lost all their receivers.
They lost their superstars. For sure. I think it's very simple when you've got like studs like that, defensive backs like that, just run the ball, do some interesting play, just try to avoid that, I guess. But again, time will tell. This is just a really fun, cool, you know, draft or whatever you want to call it, like fantasy kind of idea of like picking players out. And I mean, definitely, to everybody that's watching, if you've got your team that, if you're a Texas Tech fan or Iowa State fan or Cincinnati or whatever, if you're like seeing a lot of these players on here, these are the players to definitely watch for sure. I mean, it obviously look at your players, your quarterback, your running backs or whatever, but the ones that are picked before the season even starts, I mean, there must have been some like hype around that. So it's exciting to see for sure. All that could change, with one injury, and then they're out, and another next man up mentality, but it's just exciting to see. K-State's got a couple really good players on here, and we already knew about Austin Romaine. Will Swanson being picked for fullback is kind of funny, but hey, we know about Will Swanson. We know he's good, so we're not worried at all. So it'll be
it's funny that
interesting to see how he does.
It's interesting that he's picked on there, and I would have him as a third tight end at K-State. I mean, I would have him behind Garrett Oakley and Lincoln Cure, and yet he's the one who's selected on the first team all preseason, all conference team. That's just wild. Shout out to Jor, who's been with us since the beginning. He is saying that Des Purnell had made more splash plays in 2023 than last season, and I would agree with that. He also said that Austin Romaine has been the best linebacker at K-State since Arthur Brown Jr. When K-State won the conference in 2012 with Tyler Lockett and Colin Klein and Chris Harper and all of those really good players. So I definitely agree with him on that. But that's a look at the Big 12 preseason all conference teams.
Yeah, Des Purnell, I think a lot of that has to do. I mean, he was the Sam linebacker, so like, I think a lot of teams were avoiding him because he's a very, very solid, and they were kind of picking on our Austin the Machine Moore. Like he was having a rough. He had his moments. He did well, but man, they really keyed in on him last season as the weaker linebacker, but.
It's just he wasn't fast enough. That's his issue. I mean, he's a great player. He just wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, but all in all, man, this is a great video. I'm excited about college football. I can't wait for it to start, man. It's like as soon as the bowl game was over, you're kind of like, oh man, I can't wait for the next game to start. It's just gonna be like a long time before it happens, though. But we're here. Time does its thing, and then next thing you know, boom, we're on another season. This is going to be exciting. I definitely Babe Ruth this season for sure. I called my shot. I called it last year, so I'm really hoping K-State doesn't let me down. Do you want to do like a quick just view of? I don't know if you probably pulled this up or anything, but a quick view of just the schedule, and just kind of like
I can add it in there if you give me a moment.
Yeah, I'll kind of take a look at it. So everybody knows that like K-State's starting off the year right with a game in Ireland. We're going to Ireland. We're playing the Ireland game against our longest consecutive rival in Iowa State, and actually, fun fact, it is the longest consecutive rival, period. There isn't another rival that has more consecutive games than K-State versus Iowa State, and I really feel like the people that made the schedules for 2027 really dropped the ball. I think that they need to change it. I don't know why. It's weird to me because Brett Yormark seems to be a guy that like understands rivalries and he just gets it. So it's weird to me that he would go along with this or approve of this. So it's kind of like it's a weird. It's just weird that like he would allow that to happen. But we're starting off August 23rd, Iowa State in
There
London.
There in Ireland, not London.
Ireland, not London. What am I talking about?
Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin, Ireland, of all places. So yeah, get your tickets. The next game we're going to, well, it's versus North Dakota. Chris Kleiman's old stomping grounds. That's kind of crazy. And then we're going to get see this game. I don't understand. Army.
That's a tricky game. That is a trap game in my opinion. Army at home, trap game. They were good last year, dude.
They were good last year. It's just weird that we would schedule that. And then the next two games after that are just sort of like prep games. I feel like we're going. In my opinion, we're going against the two worst teams in the conference. And then following those two games, we're going against arguably the two best offenses. After that, and then we've got the very important. The very, very important game against our little brothers, KU. It's the game right before Halloween. And then the game directly after Halloween is Texas Tech. And then Oklahoma State. We're playing the Utah Utes this year. And then we're ending it against Colorado. That's going to be great. That's going to be
I like the schedule. It's a fun schedule. I mean, keeps you on your toes throughout the season. I mean, when you have to go to Baylor, you have to go to your rival. I mean, you got a couple of great offenses coming into your house in TCU and Texas Tech. You got some great crowds that, are going to be at Oklahoma State, at Utah. They're going to want to upset the preseason favorite K-State. And, of course, you got Dion at night, most likely going to be at night on senior night. So I think this is great. And, of course, starting out the season, no better way before anyone else, August 23rd against Iowa State in Dublin, Ireland, Kenny. Dublin, Ireland.
Don't go to London. They're not going to be there. You got to go a little bit more north. Yeah. So, honestly, what are you thinking, Steve? Are you thinking there's going to be a snow game on the Colorado game? You think Colorado's going to bring the snow?
God,
I really hope not.
Man.
I hope not.
Really hope not, because that was wild.
That was PTSD from the last snow game.
With Will Howard, yep. As long as K-State has something to play for, I don't really mind the weather. As long as K-State has something to play for, meaning they're probably going to put up a good showing and most likely win. So hopefully that happens.
As long as they have something to play for and they bring the right shoes, I think K-State will be just fine. But yeah, that's the schedule. I mean, we're going to probably have another stream where we break down individually the each game. So I just wanted to kind of give a brief overview. Steve, what is out of that schedule, what is the one game, would you say, that sticks out to you the most? The one that you're going to be like keying in on the most?
You mean if K-State, like that's a game like, I'm like, okay, K-State needs to win that game. It's the most important game. I mean, honestly, it has to be first game. It has to be the Iowa State game because I put Iowa State in my top 4. I have K-State in my top 4, right? That game and then at Baylor would be my number 2 game. So those two games, if K-State goes 1-1, I'd feel pretty good about it. But I would not feel good if K-State started 0-1. So I'm going to say the Iowa State game is the most important game on the entire schedule. What's your thoughts?
My most important is the KU K-State game. We need to have a winning record on their brand new field to start off their record on their brand new field. I want to just kick it off with a dub right off the bat. And also keep the streak alive. That's always going to be important to me. And so that'll be my number one. And I think my number two, I think I'm going to be right there with you, man. I think it's also going to be Baylor. I put them as my number two best team. So that's going to be a must-win. Those two games are going to be must-wins. And that's tough because that's right in the middle of the season. Right in the middle. So hopefully...
every game's important, but we both have Baylor in our top two. And I would have put KU third on my list just because I don't think they're a top half team, but it is a rivalry game.
Right.
So.
Right. I think those two... I just want K-State to... The last two years against KU beat themselves. And K-State did enough to win. I want this year to be a clean, dominating game from start to finish, just to show that. And listen, KU is not going to be holding back. I mean, they want their first game against K-State to be a dub on their new field. We just got to shut it down. They have a lot to play for. This streak is killing them, dude. It's killing them.
Shout out
we
to
got to shut them down. Shut them down early. Shut them down fast. And you're muted, Steve, just so you know. But those are going to be my two.
I keep having the audio issues. That's my fault. Shout out to Desert Devil. You know what he said in the comments section? I had it in the wrong order. Otherwise, it would have been on the screen. Quote, nobody in the truck stop league is beating ASU. Nobody. Well, we'll see about that. We will see about that. You guys don't have Cam Scadaboo anymore.
Listen, dude, this is just part of winning the Big 12. You get bragging rights, okay? You get bragging rights for the year, but there hasn't been a team other than like maybe OU who has won back-to-back years. And they're not here anymore. So that means the conference is wide open, and I don't know if ASU's got the stuff this year. We'll see. I hope they make it tough for K-State. They're not playing them, are they? They don't even play them this year. So maybe we'll see them in the championship game. We'll see.
We're going to do a breakdown of each team. We're going to do a breakdown of each team. In fact, I'm going to send a link to Kenny here as soon as we get off. We're both going to fill out by ourselves separately where we think each team is going to finish in the Big 12. It's a whole spreadsheet. It will not include non-conference games, and we'll talk about those non-conference games when we do the team breakdown. But we're going to be doing that here coming up each week. We're going to do the same thing we've been doing the last couple years where we do our live stream. We'll cut it up into segments for people that just want to watch, someone talk about UCF, someone to talk about ASU, someone to talk about KU, whatever it is. We're going to do that. You guys will see our thoughts on each individual team, where we pick them to finish, all of that.
So. Yes. Agreed.
Well Kenny, that was a good stream after we got our audio issues figured out.
Yes, we apologize. It's been a minute for us to get on here. And then when we got on here, there was a lot of issues. We decided to opt out of the streaming service that we were paying for because they jacked the price up by like almost 200%. And so we're just like, we're not paying that. So we had to kind of put our heads together and put this, use this, open source software to be able to get you guys the content that you have been so desperately wanting and needing. You guys have been wanting this content almost as much as Steve and I have been wanting cheeseburgers and ranch dressing all summer. So absolutely. Even our stream with like really bad audio had a decent amount of views, even though I put it unlisted because people that are subscribed are still clicking on the videos. So hopefully we get some more Big 12 fans in here. We're going to continue.
That is good news for us. I mean, Big 12 fans, I mean, they love their football, dude, just like you and I do. So we're excited to hopefully get some passes to K-State games. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to talk each team here, Kenny.
Yes, I'm super stoked. If we get passes, oh man, I'm gonna want to do interviews. I'm gonna want to do interviews like on the field with like other people that are around. You know, I want to.
We may have to for like the bigger games. We may have to for the bigger games.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, I don't think there's anything else that we need to cover right now. So there's only one last thing to do.
Big 12.
One thing left to do. Wow. Could not get that out.
Go Big 12 and go Cats, baby.
Go Cats.